Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cut out stamped images using the Brother ScanNCut. The stamp set we'll be using is called Trick or Tweet. It's by Stampin Up, and it's in our 2018 holiday catalog, which will be available for purchase to our customers on September 5th, 2018. If you're interested in receiving a holiday catalog, please contact me. Now, prior to this video, all I did was stamp 2 of these animals onto Whisper White cardstock using what's called Memento Black ink. The reason I use Memento Black ink instead of archival ink is because I plan on coloring these using the Blends markers. And I will be showing you what that looks like in just a minute. So the first thing you need to do is just I'm going to bring my ScanNCut into view. I'm just going to show you every step of the way. First thing you need to do is turn on your machine and you're going to select Scan. Let me get my stylus. Because we're not saving what we're cutting today, we're just going to select Direct Cut. Go ahead and save it to the memory of the machine, which is the first option. Black and white recognition mode is great because there's a lot of contrast between the stamped image and the background. So never waste color recognition mode unless you really need it. And that's about it. We're going to load our mat. Okay? It always unloads the first time. Okay, I'm just going to load the mat and I'm going to say start. And what it's going to do, it's just going to scan in my image. Now I'm going to pull this back to show you that I made sure that when I'm scanning in, I'm using Whisper White. It's only 8.5 by 11 and the mat is 12 by 12. So there should be no problem here, but make sure you never block these lines. Okay? Never cover these numbers, these registration marks. These are what the scanner needs to know where these images are. Okay, so here we are. Again, I want to make sure my paper did not move. It looks pretty good. We got an elephant and a dog. Let's say okay and see how it worked. Great job. It did a great job. It selected both. In fact, I'll show you the other ones I cut out. It selects the cat very easily. It selects the pumpkin very easily. What I'm doing right now is selecting the area I want to scan, because if you notice, there were all these little bits. My mat's kind of dirty and it selected all these bits. So if you select just this area, you don't have to do as much work in editing, if any. There's still a couple stray bits up there. I can go in here and I can say ignore object size. I can ignore those small bits. See, they'll go away. You can actually watch them go away. I wouldn't want to go above an inch here, because if you start ignoring objects too big, you ignore the very object that you're trying to cut. Okay, so we'll just say ignore some small objects. That may have helped. We're also going to go ahead and add an outline distance. I like to add an outline distance of 0.04, and this is what that will look like. Here's a little Tweety bird, I call him, and that has a little outline distance around it of 0.04. We're going to say okay. We're going to say okay. Now, if we needed to, if there were any more stray bits, I would have gone into this editing mode, which I've done in lots of my other videos, and I also teach a Brother ScanNCut. Actually, I teach 2 Brother ScanNCut classes now. If you're interested in those, I'll have links to those. But I get into way, way more advanced things. We're doing something very basic here, folks. This is maybe why you bought your Brother ScanNCut, to cut out stamped images. It doesn't get any easier than this when you have this kind of stamped image. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, we just need to say cut. I'm already moving it away and start. Now I can move it away. And I can just give it a rub. All right, so what we have here, here's the before, and then here's after. Okay, so what I've done to these is I just color them. I colored them in with just little Blends markers. Different ones like crumb cake and ivory and some different colors, pumpkin pie. And I just made a cute little Halloween tag, a couple sentiments. I'm about to make some treats, and I'll show you what I did with this elephant too. But we have to get back to our tutorial before I show you the elephant, so please stick around. Okay, so you might be wondering what blade depth I use. And I didn't tell you ahead of time because it's not usually like standard that I would do this. But what happened is I always been using a blade depth of 4. I've been using a blade depth of 4 for Whisper White cardstock for the past few years now. But for some reason today, just today, I needed a blade depth of 5. it just didn't cut with a 4. And I think it's because my blade is getting really dull. So Brother might not make very sticky mats, but they make very, very sharp blades. And I've only replaced a blade maybe a couple times in a few years. And well, I've had a couple machines, but I mean, on this machine a couple times in the last, I don't know how many months, but I use it all the time. So the blade must be getting dull where I needed a depth of 5. So always check your particular machine. So if I were to recommend something though, I would say Whisper White, you use a 4. And with, Stampin' Up cardstock, thicker cardstock, you would need a 5. But today I needed a 5. All right, so we digress. Now, all we need to do is say, finish cutting, okay. Unload our mat, okay. And here are our stamped images. And they did, even with the 5, I mean, it should have snapped out even easier than that. They snap out pretty easy. Okay, we are happy with these. So the one thing about Memento is, like, if you rub it at all, it's so easy to rub off. So I would normally stamp Memento Black ink and then I would like heat set it or dry it before I run it through my ScanNCut, because it seems like when I peel them off the mat, sometimes it runs a little. So let me put these on a black background. It's as easy as that, folks. We did an easy tutorial cutting out stamped images with an outline distance of 0.04. But there's more. There's always more. Here's a little project I did using the stamp set Trick or Tweet. I love this little baddie for you, and I put these on wobbles, and I'll have links to my little wobbles in the description of the video, but I just love the 3D effect. And this, I've already shown you how to cut out the, let me see, Toil and Trouble, okay, designer series paper by Stampin' Up. And we cut out some, let me just show you. This is just from the other day, maybe about a week ago. And we cut out some witches. I don't even know where here we go. I cut out in some tutorials, pumpkins. I cut out witches. I cut out cats. I cut out bats. Okay, so I showed you in different tutorials how to cut out these different things. But what you may not know is that I also use my ScanNCut for absolutely everything. I cut out the layers for my pizza boxes using the ScanNCut. I cut out the inside of my pizza boxes. These are mini pizza boxes by Stampin' Up. Oh, here's one of the witches. There you go. Here's one of the witches I cut out the other day. Okay, and she's also on a wobble. So the Brother ScanNCut makes it so easy for you to have precise measurements and then repeatable projects. So if you go to a lot of craft fairs like I do, then you sell things to different customers, like I have an Etsy shop and friends I sell to, well, then you can just get like consistent results, repeatable results, because you're cutting out all your shapes. I even cut out my nugget wrappers. That's what these are. These are Hershey nuggets. And so they have like little pieces of chocolate goodness in them, like toffee and almonds, and these are plain because they have the silver wrappers, but these have nuts inside. And what I did is, inside the pizza box is I just use like removable glue dots. That way they stay and they're cute, but they don't like wiggle around the box. Okay, now I'm going to be making a video, hopefully, if I have time soon, but of all the different projects you can create, not all of them, but just the ones I created, using the Toil and Trouble suite. And I will combine that with the Trick or Tweet stamp set. But this is Toil and Trouble Designer Series paper, and this little ribbon is called, also part of the holiday catalog, is called Glittered Organdy Ribbon. Okay, so we have lots of new products coming out. I can't show you the inside of the catalog yet. I can only show you products that you are going to be able to order from the catalog. And believe me, the catalog has a lot more than just Halloween things. I showed you how to cut out Mrs. Claus and some elves from the Santa's Workshop Designer Series paper. And we just have like year-round, holiday, year-round autumn items and year-round items as well in the holiday catalog. Like all kinds of sentiments. So please be sure to check that out. And thank you for watching. I'm the Paper Chef, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.